not a YouTuber, just like making videos. We're going to go into the concept of white racism versus the problems in the black community. There are those that have the narrative of, why worry about what white racists are doing? We got a whole lot of problems in the black community. And this sort of mindset kind of, it's completely ignorant, and and people's mentality can be manipulated in all sorts of ways. You know what I mean? An intelligent person knows he has multiple foes, and that his foes come in all shapes and sizes. That just because we want to focus on one thing, it doesn't cancel out any attention to the other thing. An intelligent man, when he walks down the street, like me, I'll be cautious of the black man. I'll be cautious of this white man. I'll be cautious of that little four-legged animal over there, and I'm gonna be cautious of this flying thing that's buzzing around my ear. You see what I'm saying? Your enemies are those that wish to do you harm, come in all shapes and sizes. Some are even microscopic. Yeah. Some are not even human. But these bootlickers got these guys so brainwashed into not only thinking that the black man is your own worst, but black people are our own worst enemy, but we're our only enemy. You see what I mean? The black man isn't my own worst enemy. He's also my only enemy. Like, no other element out here is going to reach to do me harm. And this whole thing, like, we can't worry about racism. We got to fix the black community. The black community is in such disarray. I understand. I've observed the black community like everyone else. But could you imagine if we had an alien invasion? UFOs pierced our atmosphere. What are we going to do? Don't worry about them aliens in the sky. What about the black community? What about black on black crime? Don't worry about them aliens. We hear about, hey man, aliens just blew up the White House or whatever. Man, don't worry about, we got a whole lot of focus here on the black community and so forth. It makes no sense. But because I was watching one of New Possibilities videos about the Oklahoma fraternity, where they was screaming a racist chant on the bus, and a couple of uneducated gimps came to his videos and was like, we can't worry about racism. Black people, we're racist towards ourselves and things of that nature. Who cares, and yada yada yada. And I think about when Bad News Brown, the professional wrestler, was on one of the tour buses there, and going by his story, Andre the Giant kept using the word nigger, so he felt obligated to stand up and say something to Andre the Giant. And I'm just using that as, as an example that black people will be in the vicinity of a white person saying stuff that's offensive. So what are you going to do? Are you going to just ignore that white person and just be like, oh well, us black people, we got so many problems of our own? No, you address issues accordingly. Now, I think about the Native Americans. And somebody shared a cartoon on Facebook. And the cartoon was about these Native American tribe. One guy was saying that, hey, the white man just wiped out another tribe, and another Native American was like, yeah, but what about Native American on Native American crime? Even though the Native Americans, a lot of tribes were at war with each other, they still had to pay attention to an imminent storm heading their way. And that's the thing. And I think about Gandhi. Yes, I know about Gandhi when he was locked up in South Africa. He said disparaging remarks about the Africans there. What they say, that they call them the Kafirs. I may have gotten that wrong. Gandhi had to deal with white imperialism, that occupied his country. And he also, in his country, the Hindus and Muslims was butchering each other. And then you had this ridiculous caste system that he wanted Indians to do away with. So he had his hands full, with that. You know what I mean? One thing didn't cancel the other thing. God, it wasn't like, oh, we can't worry about, the white hegemony in our country. We got our own people killing each other. We got our own people races against each other. So why are we going to worry about the Brits? No, that's the thing. And the Native Americans, which they're the closest to a people who got independence. The white man cannot go on his reservations. Matter of fact, there's one story of some white hikers or whatever, traveling or campers or whatever, accidentally stepping on Native American soil, and they beat the war drums to scare them off. But even on the reservations there, Native Americans are dealing with a lot with avid poverty. Even though they got the casinos, there's dealing with alcoholism and domestic violence, abuse. And, even though they have these problems, they're still not going to ignore what whites have done to them. But I respect the Native Americans and especially the Native American women for, trying to handle their problems on their own, but not putting the white man. The white man is a non-factor. They're not going to go to the white man to help solve their problems that they got going on in our community. As here in the black community, we put everything on display and and things of that nature. Black women will get a black dude locked up instead of let's figure out how to do this with the exclusion of the Caucasian. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see, people with this mentality or whatever. And 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 as I said before, I'm not oblivious to the things that goes on in the black community. And my thing is, we're kind of forced to fix the black community with our hands tied. In my book, I said book. In my video, it's going to take more than bubblegum and tape to fix the black community. I emphasized on, first, if you got a problem, first you got to isolate the black community from the outside world, and then you got to go in and neutralize the problem. But you have so many, the black community is wide open. I'm like, technically, we don't know what is the black community. Because we tend to forget that, hey, not every black person lives inside the black community. Not every black person lives inside the black community, and there's more than just black people that live inside the black community. It's just you just got too many openings there, and it's influenced by an outside world. If those outside the community goes into the community to look for drugs and prostitution, yeah, they're also contributing to the problem. And a lot of people would rather cling on to the bootlickers and, instead of the pro-blacks or the ones that's trying to help black people. And I have my critiques of them too. But my thing is, when I look at things, I'm like, why did Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, why did they even exist? Even a lot of these bootleggers and stepping fetchers, why do they exist in the first place? Yeah, it's from a white dominated society that didn't treat black people fair. Now the thing is, black people were willing to play ball. You can't say black people. It's like the Native Americans. The Native Americans kept every single treaty they had with the white man. But, the white man broke a lot of them. I don't want to go back into the story of black elk and white antelope. But blacks played by the rules. When we was emancipated from slavery, we didn't seek revenge. We didn't say, oh, we're going to come and get you now. We sought an education. We became good little Christians. We did everything the white man wanted us to do. He put down, okay, here's the codes and ethics you're gonna have to go by, and we did it. But it wasn't good enough for us. So us black people, we're the only ones that is forced to play fair. Who's playing fair? The white man doesn't play fair. When the white man went out and colonized the world, his mentality was, there are no rules. Nobody's playing by the rules. Black people are the only people forced to, we gotta play, you know what I mean? In actuality, we should try to get our way by being murderous brutes like the white man. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be sensible here, and And that's the thing, and that's what I'm getting at. And reading the books that I read, and I say to myself, I'm like, damn, black people don't stand a chance. Because the thing is, after slavery, white people, even the abolitionists, because we all know they weren't really our friends, felt that slavery has turned the black man in such a brute, animal-like state. And was there redemption for the black man? Could the black man be a productive member in society? You know what I mean? After the cruel institution of slavery. So that's why black scholars had to come in, and ex-slaves had to come in and prove that, we're proving to the same people that enslaved us that we're intelligent enough to live amongst them. Come on. Psychological warfare. Now, I think about white flight. Black people, this is why you got white flight, because the black ghettos and whatever. White flight existed after black people was emancipated from slavery. Because a lot of white people like, man, when these black people get free, man, they're going to be moving next to us. Let's get the hell away. I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling people. See, a lot of people here, especially on this YouTube, get their sources of information from another fucking YouTube video. I can tell other YouTubers influence their minds and their rhetoric. These people are they're feeble-minded folks. But I understand a lot of people most people are followers. They can't think for themselves. They don't really have proper analytical skills. That's why I said, man, turn that computer off, get off your ass, go to the library, and do some goddamn research. I shouldn't even have to make this video. And that's the thing. So therefore, I look at things on a macrocosmic level. I'm like, this is bigger than the black community. And then people, and as I said before, they're just really, I refer it more so as the black commonwealth instead of the black community.